Thank you, Metaverse, for sponsoring this show. Stay tuned to learn how my students are creating simple augmented reality experiences in Metaverse. How to Create an AR and VR, episode 443.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
So we're going to talk about creating in augmented reality and virtual reality with Jamie Donnelly, educator in East Texas and founder of AR, VR, and EduChat. So, Jamie, you think that creating in AR and VR is important. Why?
I think we're going to all start off with experiences. I think that that's the norm, to have those encounters. What we're going to see a transition to, though, is that we're not just content consumers, but definitely content creators, both for our educators and our students, giving our students a chance to be the ones to designate what those experiences will look like, as opposed to it always being defined by somebody else.
So I've had on the show a fellow named Sean Wybrandt that I met at ISTE, who has his kids, and you're smiling. We're doing this with video, so you probably know him, where he has his students creating these virtual 360 experiences. Where do we start with creating in augmented reality and virtual reality?
I think that there's different tools. I'm a huge advocate of just pop in and create, not having a whole lot of time to learn something new. I think that that's all great. Everybody creates. Everybody can do it, whatever grade level that they're at, whatever skill level they are. So I think by offering tools like that, help them jump right into it. So I've created, I have like these 2 documents that I work out of sometimes with VR and AR. I do have it in my book with Learning Transported, but inside of it, I kind of start off with like, where do you start for creating some VR? And I think Nearpod is a good tool to use VR. I can create some 360s, and I can actually upload it into my Nearpod lessons and have them go and explore my tours, which is really cool. I can also pull from their easy library that they have, a library with 360 cities. So that is a paid for feature to use something like that. But that is something that's easy to use with VR right off the bat, and get our students in there and you creating some tours. And then moving over to creating, I have Zapbox down there. I think definitely a learning curve there with virtual reality. You can create some cool stuff. I always encourage Google Street View. That's great for just making some 360 photos. And you can either publicize it, which it goes on to Google Maps, or you can just have it downloaded on your device and upload it into many different places like RoundMe or even CoSpaces. CoSpaces is top of my list as far as creating virtual reality and easily being able to use some tools that you can layer inside of there. They're doing some really cool stuff. On the AR side, there are some tools out there that you can use that are for fun, like Masquerade, having some filters, or even using Snapchat. Students will use the filters on their faces, or many other places now that you're going to see just photo filters or video filters that we can layer on top using AR. And I think that would be a good starting point, just to get familiar with how it's, tied. It's actually doing some facial recognition, so pulling in some AI. Then we can even move into creating some content with like possible scavenger hunts. So Waypoint EDU is fantastic, specifically focused on education. I use Wallamy quite a bit because I want an alternative to something that's free. And although it's not geared towards education, it is an option to create some scavenger hunt content in augmented reality that's floating around that they have to go and find. And then you have, with ARKit being released, there are so many different creation opportunities. Of course, 3D Bear we mentioned before. There are, even with CoSpaces now in augmented reality, that I can create inside of there. There's lots of studios out there. Metaverse is a great one. Does have a little bit of a learning curve on that one as well. It could take some time to get used to, but you can now paint in 3D in your space. I like World Brush. You can create portals in your space into these AR portals that you walk through in your in your classroom and walk into this whole 360 using Figment or Portals AR, or building 3D content in your space. You can engage with storytelling. I mean, I can go on forever and ever about all the stuff you can create. I think that there's just an enormous amount of content out there that our students can now not just be the receiver, but either one, I am modifying what I see and what I'm doing, or I even take that to the next level and I create what I want to see and what I want to do. And students have it all at their fingertips now.
So, Jamie, give me an example of something a student has done and you thought this was a fantastic learning opportunity.
I think some of the designs that we see in VR have been really cool using Tilt Brush. I think being able to craft something in 360, three-dimensional in their space is kind of a really neat experience. But some of the things that I think are going to be powerful are going to be really held in that storytelling aspect, being able to share your story. So it could be something that I'm sharing a tour of this maybe mission trip that I went on, or maybe I'm going to go and share my favorite places to go eat, or my home, and this is where I live, and this is what I do, this is my culture. I think being able to share these stories about what is personal for our students is a very powerful way of describing. I know, I see things, I hear things, I see students creating some really powerful things. I think when you consider supporting somebody else, that's always going to be a powerful story. So when I consider somebody else and what they're doing, and I'm out creating to help support them, whether that be help design their house and scan out using, I did a 360. I'll tell you a story about for myself. I have a friend that was totally affected by Hurricane Harvey. I went down to her house and we were pulling up things off the ground. It was terrible. It was horrible. It smelled terrible. Everything bad. Their house was literally up to water, up to the roof, and it was just terrible. But in her living room, all the sheetrock's missing from a certain point up, and so I'm taking a 360 photo in her living room, and I had a chance to go see her last week. And when I went to go see her, I actually took a new 360. So what a powerful story to show where it was and where it is now. And that's a story of her life. That's not capturing a photo just for a photo's sake and showing information. That was something for her that was super emotional, and the trials that she's been through and things that she's had to face in this journey, to be able to see now how amazing her house looks and all that they've accomplished and all the work that it took to get there. It's something that I think she's going to want to hold on to for a long time.
If educators say, okay, I want to do some 360 photographs or some 360, and I know you're not going to go and recommend all the products, but just tell us some, what would it take to be able to start shooting stuff in 360?
So I think if you wanted to look for a free option, Google Street View allows you to take free photos. I upload my photos into Round Me often, and I'll add a lot of layers of things, like layers of hotspots of information, adding directional sound, even adding other 360s and creating a tour so that they're walking from one portal to the next. And so in those 360s, I think, that's a very easy, free way. You can do 15 free uploads a month in Round Me. So I like that as an option. I have a 360 camera. It took me a long time to buy one. I waited and waited until I found exactly what I was looking for. I ended up getting an Insta360 One, which actually isn't, you can do it through Apple with a bundle now. So school districts have a hard time purchasing maybe through Amazon or such. I always recommend the bundle so that they can pretty much pay the same price, but they're looking at, what their schools are able to purchase from. And so there are several cameras out there for different purposes. I found value in this particular one for a classroom, and you can create 360 video and you can upload it. You can go stream live in 360 through, in my case, with my camera, I can connect it through my charging port in my iPhone. I go live in Facebook Live, and it's in 360. I can go live in Periscope, which will stream live into Twitter, and I can go live on YouTube, and it will become a 360 video that's stored there as well. So there's all these places that you can then upload and essentially share your story, the content that you wanted to describe. And so those are some ways that you can do that. There's a lot out there. And then uploading, when we talked about VR with CoSpaces, you can view it in mobile phones, you can view it in on your desktop computer, you can view it even on an Oculus Go. I believe that they may even have it in the mixed reality headset that you have. And so having the integrations, I know ClassVR, they're integrated there as well. So having the integration there that they can then view what they've created in multiple different platforms, I think is key. So there's a lot our students can create and demonstrate across the board, to their friends, family, and their classmates.
I know that folks will want to go to AR, VR, and Edu Chat, which is on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Is that right?
9 p.m. Eastern. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you can join in the conversation. I also encourage you to check out the other show that we recorded about protocols for virtual reality in the classroom. Jamie has so many great things to share, and this is a fun conversation. Thanks, Jamie. Metaverse is a powerful augmented reality app, and they have added many upgrades this past week. Check them out at coolcatteacher.com/metaverse. New features include a new classroom management tool called Collections that lets teachers view all their student experiences in one place. You can edit and view all the experiences students have made and share your student experiences as a group. Metaverse is free for teachers and students to create as many AR experiences as you like. Teachers can purchase the ability to create collections for a small $7 a month fee, but you can try out these new classroom management features inside Metaverse for free with promo code AR4EDU. Metaverse works for all ages to bring augmented reality into every classroom. I highly recommend it. Go to coolcatteacher.com/metaverse and use the code AR4EDU to upgrade to some of these cool new features.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.